Who are you and what are you running for?
I want to first thank Pitt County for putting this on so that many candidates can introduce themselves to our constituency. I'm running for the Congressional District number 1 here in the state of North Carolina. My name is Sandy Roberson. I currently serve as the mayor of the city of Rocky Mount and am into my 3rd year in that particular term. I'm excited for this opportunity, excited to be here, excited to be able to share with you a little bit of who I am.
Why are you running for Congress?
Eastern North Carolina is something that's near and dear to my heart. My father is from Martin County, a little town called Beargrass, not so far from Greenville, Pitt County. And my mother's folks are from Edgecombe County. This is a region that I have spent generations in and understand who we are culturally, our values, and we've been largely left out of the growth that North Carolina as a whole has experienced. And I really feel like that's an injustice and one that I believe, if elected to Congress, can really help our district move forward in building infrastructures that we need to include broadband and other things.
What do you think makes you qualified for this office?
What I'll tell you is that I have been a job creator in our district for over 40 years. I have helped create economies. I currently, as the mayor of the city of Rocky Mount, working with the Gateways Partnership for Economic Development. And we're in the process of bringing in many jobs and many opportunities to Rocky Mount and the surrounding areas, which include the 1st District. I believe that those experiences alone in understanding business, understanding the culture, and understanding the challenges that we have a district make me uniquely qualified. The other thing I want to point out is that I've spent really my career here in politics, which exists about 3 years now, really working on anti-corruption and just trying to set the table for what I believe to be fairness in government for everyone. You know, we had a state audit in the city of North Carolina and city of Rocky Mount, and what we discovered is that we had a number of irregularities. So I worked with our local senator to create Senate Bill 473. And what that does is it creates transparency within local government so that, we have to all be held to the same high ethical standards that each one of our elected officials are at every single level of government. And I believe that these initiatives, along with my business experience, along with the history and understanding the culture, and more importantly, being instilled with the values of our folks from Eastern North Carolina, give me a unique lens to be able to represent all folks here in the 1st District.
What do you intend to do should you win?
What I intend to do is really start working on infrastructure and what it takes to help Eastern North Carolina, really make a difference. And we need to start there. It looks like education. It looks like creating infrastructure like broadband in our rural areas. And that's something I've worked on as the mayor of Rocky Mount and will continue to work on. It was even featured in NBC Nightly News on that particular debate. But as something that's absolutely critically important to us, if we're going to become competitive with the rest of the world, we need to make sure we have the tools in place. We're educating our children to be able to do that. Now, what does that look like as a congressman? It looks like being a proponent of block grants to be able to distribute to folks, local communities within the area, in hopes that we can create those kinds of infrastructures. It looks like trying to expedite the funding and expedite the paving of I-87, which is US 64, to connect Norfolk with Rocky Mount and much of the swath of northeastern North Carolina, to give it the vital organ, if you will, the lifeblood to create traffic, to create development that begets so many other things that are very positive and are necessary for our area.
What values will inform you in Congress?
The values, again, are the ones that I learned on the farm. My daddy's farm out in Beargrass, and at the home that I grew up in with my great mother and my great father is simply this. I'm a Christian. I believe that Jesus is the Son of God. I believe that right is right and wrong is wrong. I believe that everybody needs an opportunity to get at the table. Everybody has that opportunity, and we should be fighting for that. The lens of that childhood, the lens of those experiences and the values that we all share, I believe are going to be the primarily guiding force. Recognizing the experiences that I've had as an entrepreneur, the challenges I have seen our employees have, the educational requirements that are needed, I will begin to hopefully bring home those types of initiatives that will help us more importantly. But the guiding light is, in fact, the values that we all share here in East North Carolina.
Are you passionate about any issues in particular?
So the things that I'm really passionate about comes down to guns It comes down to crime, and it comes down to our economy. And so what I mean by guns is I'm a pro-gun rights guy. I'm a hunter. I'm passionate about that. I love to duck hunt in the winter. I love to deer hunt, love to bear hunt. I enjoy fishing, and I enjoy the outdoors. But I know that it is our constitutional right to bear arms, and I believe that we need to do nothing to control any right or restrict that right in any way. That is something I'm very, very, very serious about, and something that I'm passionate about. When we start talking about the economy, let's remember that I've spent close to 4 decades in business as a jobs creator, as a decision maker. I've worked in crisis management. I've looked at as an entrepreneur. I come from a farming family. I come from a building family. So, those experiences have really influenced me. And when I look at the current inflation rate, when I look at the current state of the economy, I'm troubled. When I look at it from a national standpoint, I see a lot of negative issues at play. I believe that we need to go back and restore a lot of our energy policies from a previous administration, because I believe that they've worked. Simply stated, if we can come back to a place where energy is ours and we can control our own destiny, and we're not buying from other countries, we get to set our own destiny as it relates to control. The geopolitics associated with us buying oil from Russia, from Saudi Arabia, from Venezuela, from Iraq, from Iran, are creating these countries, wealth in these countries that really hate us. So why are we doing that? And on top of it is creating the inflationary cycle that we're seeing. I believe that because of my negotiating skills, because that's what I've been doing virtually all of my life, and because I've been in management, because I have made hard decisions, because I've been effective, I have the capacity to understand the challenges and to act on our behalf here in Eastern North Carolina.
Could you tell us a little bit more about your background?
People ask me what are the things that I'm passionate about in my personal life, and it really is a lot of things. First of all, my family, my kids. I have 4 adult children that I'm extremely proud of and excited for. I have 2 in school. I have 1 returning to school for a graduate degree, and I have a daughter who's in real estate in Rocky Mount. All live in the Rocky Mount and or Raleigh areas, and so I'm very excited to have them so close in proximity, to be able to enjoy their fellowship and to be able to see their growth and development. Again, I'm excited about all that they are and who they've become and who they are becoming. The other thing I kind of do in my private time when I have some time is I love to pilot. I've got an airplane that I just love to fly around. It's a place where I can find a real sense of peace. The other thing is it gives you kind of a different perspective. When you're flying up in the air and you're looking down, it gives you sort of a different process of thought. It gives you sort of a different experience, and it's just amazing. It's both freedom, but at the same time, it's controlled. At the same time, it's something that gives me some exhilaration. I just really love it. I love hunting, particularly duck hunting. That's a passion of mine. Spent a great deal of time in places like Hyde County and Pamlico County, hunting ducks and bear and deer and things of that nature. I enjoy turkey hunting. Do that on our farm down in Martin County. I think that's something that is super fun and special. I believe in guns rights as a result. I do play a little golf, enjoy that from time to time, enjoy fishing, both saltwater, freshwater, inshore, offshore. And what I'll say is I have a lot of hobbies, but what I really don't have is a lot of time. And so I spend most of that time trying to pursue help for others. The thing that has really driven me most of my career and most of my life is trying to provide for others in many ways, whether that looks like a job, whether it looks like a development course, whether it looks like trying to resolve challenges. And so I've spent a great deal of time making decisions, the hard decisions, and hopefully all good ones. What I will say in my life and my experience is I grew up in a household where not making a decision was the crime instead of making a bad decision. And, it's okay to make tough decisions. It's okay to make ones that aren't perfect. What's not okay is not recognizing when something's going the wrong direction and being able to reverse. Something you'll find is that I'm a fairly humble guy as it relates to understanding that I don't know everything and don't pretend to. But I always seek the best advice and the best guidance I can get from anybody who will share it with me. And oftentimes, it comes from the most unusual places, and I certainly recognize that. So back again to the whole touchstone of this. I work for the folks in the first district. I'm seeking advice from the folks of the first district. I understand our challenges. I understand our history. I understand the challenges associated with all that. But what's most important is recognizing that that's the lens and the values that I will take to Washington on all of our behalves.
Is there anything else you'd like voters to know?
What I'll say is that I need your vote on May 17th. That's the primary. I am running on the Republican ticket, looking for the nomination for our Senate House District, US 1. And I would love for everybody to come vote for me. The other things I need you to know is that you can check me out on Facebook. You can check me out on my website. You can check me out. I'm probably only one connection away from anybody who's listening to this message. And I encourage you to go back and check on who I am. Talk to the folks who've worked with me, who've worked for me. Talk to the folks that I'm related to. And I believe what you'll find is a candidate that is solid based with a great head-heart connection, with the ability to get things done, that has been negotiating all of his life, who understands what we need both locally but also from a national level. We really haven't talked much about inflation. We really haven't talked much about the policies of the current administration and the challenges it's creating for our folks. But I'm telling you, they are real. The current administration, I believe the progressives have taken over and have created challenges for all of us that we're dealing with. And I think that the Ukrainian component, or Russia invading Ukraine right now, has absolutely juiced all of those, we'll call it energy shortages, which are really, really, really fueling a lot of our inflationary cycle. But again, my name is Sandy Roberson. I'd like everybody's vote here on May 17th. I believe in the values of Eastern North Carolina. I believe I understand how to, get things done, and we're going to move forward.
Could you tell us what your website is again?
You can find me on Facebook at Sandy Roberson for Congress, and that's Sandy Roberson for Congress at Facebook. My website is www.SandyRobersonNC.com. Again, www.SandyRobersonNC.com. I encourage you to check out those sources and find me and check me out. And any questions you may have, please feel free to communicate with us, whether it looks like instant messaging, whether it looks like a Twitter request, whether it looks like a Facebook post, whether it looks like an email or a phone call. We'll receive it any way that you want to provide it. But what's important is that you understand how available we are and how available I am to be able to be responsive to your needs, because at the end of the day, that is my job.